This is Snake. Can you hear me? Good. The mission is simple. Put your geek pants on and infiltrate Foxhound. If you need backup, contact Ken and Chris on their codec frequency. Ready? Snake out.
Welcome back to the Geek Pants Camcast. I am Ken Levitsky, and this is the wonderful, amazing, one-of-a-kind Chris Mercy. And today, we will be continuing the Monster March with apparently one of Chris's favorite films, Cloverfield. But first, Chris, you know what? You say hi first. I'm talking too much.
I actually was going to cut you off and do this big, huge thing about you know what, I'm not really ready to do this. You did such a good intro.
Is that good?
That I was like, and then I'm talking like, even before you got to singing my praises, before you got to that point, I was like, you know what, I'm going to let this go.
That was a good part, though.
I'm going to let this ride out.
Yeah.
Because I literally was going to be like, oh, I'm not ready. We got to redo this and do this thing where I think it's funny, and it probably wasn't. But no, you did a phenomenal intro.
Thank you.
You are also one of a kind.
Oh, appreciate it, buddy. Mm-hmm. We're gonna give a quick shout out to a new subscriber on our YouTube channel.
We got another new one.
We got a new one. His name is Chris Darrell.
Okay,
Chris, you don't work with him, right?
I don't believe.
Okay,
I
sometimes
Chris Darrell.
Sometimes you
Darrell
know the
Darrell?
person. Chris Darrell is subscribing, so thank you, Chris. Also, thanks to someone who's been subscribing for a while, but they've been talking quite a bit on our videos, commenting a lot. His name is, he goes by 2nd Street Marvel. He has a YouTube channel, which is fantastic, Chris. Okay. I highly recommend checking it out.
I will immediately subscribe.
Movies and comics and all the geeky stuff we already love.
But not as good as us, though.
Not as good as us.
Like, it's a fantastic channel, but not as good.
Well, I mean, it's just him versus us.
Okay.
The handicap match right off the bat.
That's true. That is true. So it is an unfair advantage.
We usually bring weapons to the game.
Always. We are the deadly duo.
Yes. So, 2nd Street Marvel, thank you, but do not get in our way. No, I'm joking. Or am I?
Oh, no. No. We'll fuck you up.
Yeah, but no, check out his channel. It's amazing. So
yeah, I will check it out tonight, and I will I will subscribe tonight, because, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, I'm subscribing.
So, but thank you for that. Really
he's actually doing. He just got to 100 subscribers himself.
Hey!
And he's
congratulations!
Doing a giveaway.
That is amazing.
So I mean,
we're close. We're what, 66 now?
Yeah, about that.
65, 66. I think we're at 66.
People just don't really want that gauntlet, I guess. It's all right. It's in my closet.
Yeah,
it's waiting.
You know,
it's waiting.
Hey, there's also the possibility that I'll eat a ketchup sandwich at some point too. So
I will never forget that. I still have the piece of paper that you signed.
Yep. I will definitely do that. But now back to one of what did you call it? One of my favorite movies of all time.
All time. Cloverfield.
It's not. It's not one of my favorite movies of all time.
Now, should we just dive right into the negativity? Because I'm dying to know what changed between your original viewing. Has it been the full 10 years since you watched this last?
Yes.
So full 10 years.
Yep.
Okay, so taste change. Obviously, I said the same thing about the host, how I like it more than I used to.
Yeah, taste change. What it is, that gets me, and it's not that this is a bad movie, okay? Mm-hmm. It's still a good movie. The things that I like are really, really well done. Really, really well done. What it is the fact that he's got a fucking camcorder on the entire time. This is how this story is being played out. Mm-hmm. It's not a GoPro, okay? They literally say this is from a camcorder.
Yeah, it's like a handheld Sony type.
So it's a handheld Sony type thing. I actually Googled camcorders in that year just to make sure that there was no other, like, head attachment or something that he could use. So now, once I made that connection, and I think I let it slide the first time around, or I didn't really pay too much attention to it, but the fact that now every time I see, like, him look at something, he's doing it like this. Here's his hand with his camcorder. So this whole thing is going on. This horrible monster alien thing we don't really know is destroying the city, and he has one hand glued to his fucking head with a camcorder the whole time.
So now I kind of got it like those cameras. I know those kind of cameras because my parents had one. They had that flip out screen that you could tilt, rotate, you could flip it backwards. So I kind of had like he's running, but he's kind of like this because the camera is like this when he's running.
Okay.
So he could be holding it and just watching the screen in front because he's very hardcore into the whole document thing of the film. He says that numerous times of documenting this.
No, I know.
In that T.J. Miller voice, I'm documenting this.
I know they said that but that's it. They also every time they say that, I go, "You're purposely calling attention to this." I would probably have preferred you don't continue saying this because then I could be like, well, whatever. But even if, and you're right, they have the flip outs. Even if we're here, my brain still goes, this is the end of the world scenario, okay? Like, I mean, whether it is or isn't, you must be thinking this is an end of the world scenario, okay? So basically what you're doing is you're doing whatever you can not to die, while at the same time trying to get your ex-girlfriend. Okay, you are a filmmaker, okay? You're in this end of the world scenario. What are your thoughts? Are your thoughts, let's devote one of my hands to documenting all of this? Or is it, let's just do whatever we can to survive? That's the main point of contention for me that continuously took me out of the movie.
Now it's tough because all the other characters say to him numerous times, get rid of the fucking camera. And he's not a smart dude in the movie. So I'm thinking he's maybe documenting this to become rich or famous. One of the two.
Okay, but regardless of those things, okay, no, I'll accept those. I'll actually accept those. But it still makes me mad.
Okay.
It still makes me mad, so I'm not necessarily bummed out when he's killed.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, after that...
It's not as bad as Blair Witch Project, where they had a fucking camcorder like this, and they're holding it through the whole movie.
Yeah, that one, that one's worse. That one's certainly worse. But then again, after the fact that once he's killed, spoilers, once he's killed though, the other remaining people are like, right back into filming. And so again, I'm just like, that's even stupider! You spent the whole movie going, get rid of the camera, get rid of the camera, and then finally they're just like, let's just keep the camera. So that's one of the main reasons why I didn't like this nearly as much as I did the first time around. Okay. That's...
So would you say it's ahead of its time? It'd be better today with a GoPro type of deal?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Because then you could argue...
So if that didn't come out in 2008, you would maybe enjoy it more?
Well, because you could just say it's a chest strap, GoPro, still has his hands. Hell, you could even just have it so that he forgot that it's on. Like, you could even have a scene where somebody goes, is that even on? And he kind of goes, oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Then leave it, right? Okay. Or tweak it so that it's not just his camera that's telling the story, but security cams throughout the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even piece together from other cameras that they have found, like at least in that regard. But that really, really took me out of it. And I'll accept your answers. Like, yeah, okay, he's dumb and he's looking at his get-rich scheme, and even all his friends are like, this is stupid. Let it go. Then it's just more aggravating. Because then it's just like, you're a fucking idiot. You know? Other than that, the only other negatives I had was, I didn't really like the acting as much this time around.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm a sucker for Lizzie Kaplan, right? I fucking laughed when I saw T.J. Miller. I was like, all right, wow, okay. Because I thought at this point we would never be reviewing a movie with him in it ever again. So
we had to go back in time.
Yeah, that's right.
To do another one.
So I was like, okay, all right. And I watched this at night, so I didn't have the volume up too loudly. So, no, I had captions. That's right, I had closed captions.
Okay.
So a lot of the dialogue I missed a bit, but there like some of the actual intense scenes I kind of turned it up because I wanted to feel the acting. I mean, it's not that it's all bad per se, but I wasn't really. And honestly, it may have been because I was like constantly being like, oh, this fucking hand cam, like this fucking Sony hand cam thing is gonna just drive me nuts. So I may have been a little bit unforgiving in that regard, but then again, if you think about it, what have these actors have done since? Like aside from like Lizzie Cap, like the actual name ones that you recognize, none of them really done anything since.
A lot of TV work. Most of them went to TV.
So nothing fantastic, nothing important. Your careers are garbage, so you should just quit now.
Actually, I looked that up because I like the cast in this, and I like the acting. Actually, I thought everyone did a really good job. My favorite is actually probably Jessica Lucas, who played Lily in the movie, the black woman, the girlfriend of the brother. She's amazing in this movie.
She's really good. She was really good. I was like I don't know.
Who's actually spoilers? She's the only one that survives in the movie too.
Does she though?
Well, it shows her helicopter leave.
Yeah, but
we don't know if she did or not. But as far as we know, she did.
It's still alive.
It's still alive.
And I mean, if you watch 10 Cloverfield Lane, and if you watch the Cloverfield Paradox,
did you like that movie? I enjoyed that movie. I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it a lot. I got definite Event Horizon vibes from it.
Yep. Yep.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I
don't think it got so much hate, and I don't think it was deserved.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it's not a great movie. I'm not going to give you that it's a great movie. Mm-hmm. I actually liked 10 Cloverfield Lane better. Or more. I should say
quality-wise, 10 Cloverfield Lane is the most solid of the three. But enjoyment-wise, it's the original for me.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously. Yeah. Obviously. Now, I will say, because while, that's certainly a huge negative, the monster, the Cloverfield, the actual Cloverfield monster.
Amazing. So good.
Incredible.
So good. Like, I love the fact that Matt Reeves and the designers and everything were talking about the creature when they were making it, and they were like, we want this creature to act like it's afraid. And there's nothing more terrifying than an animal, a giant animal, when it's afraid. Like an elephant when it's scared and smacking shit apart. I love the fact
that they're even saying that this is a baby.
Yeah.
Like they're saying...
calling up for his mother.
This is a baby, looking for its mom, scared, you're right. Like this is... And even... But the design, I loved that this looked like a fucking, like, alien design.
Yeah.
It was scary, but also there was times where you could be sympathetic towards it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everything about the Cloverfield monster itself was great. Like, across the board.
The parasites that fall off it and
crawl. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Those are so awesome. When they bite you, you explode.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lizzie Kaplan blowing up.
I was like... And luckily, like, it had been so long that I was like... I remember bit parts, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I jumped when she exploded. I was like, oh my god, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my god, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
You know, so that was crazy. But man, like everything about the actual Cloverfield and that aspect was amazing. I thought that was awesome. I even liked the actual ending where you know, like they're like, okay, she gets away, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. But I love how they have that little kick at the end where she's like, it's still alive. And you're just like, oh fuck, like, god damn it.
Yeah.
But like that's what really sold the movie for me and saved the movie for me. Okay, because even when I first watched this, I was like, it's found footage, so I don't know about this. Like I'm talking like the first time.
I watched it in the theater, and when it was coming out, all I was reading online, because like, forums, I guess, because I wasn't really reading websites, but was like, people are leaving the theater, they're getting sick and they're leaving. Like, it's causing motion sickness.
Yeah, I remember hearing that too, and I was like, well, I'm glad I've never had that happen to me. Like, I've never had that happen to me.
Yeah.
You know, not that I watched a ton of found footage movies, but I've watched enough. But then again, I guess it's also, I mean, playing first-person shooters, like, not that I was ever a huge fan, but the games that I did really like GoldenEye,
Yeah.
Or the Borderlands series. That's another one. Borderlands 3 apparently is at some point coming out. So
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Most of these are pipeline games, like I mentioned in the last video. But maybe it's because of the first-person stuff that you get used to that kind of shit.
Well, yeah, because the screen's going and you're looking around and...
Yeah, exactly. So
just accustomed to it, I guess.
But I mean, I think part of it, though, is you can control the screen. Yeah. So I can kind of see how some people who wouldn't be able to control where the camera's going could be thrown off by that. But it was weird to hear... Same with the Blair Witch. That was another one. That was the first one that I heard people were, like, leaving because they were getting motion sickness. And you're just like, oh, shit.
I didn't get that either.
No.
I mean, I don't mind the whole shaky. It's overused now. I think Cloverfield was the first one since Blair Witch when it came out with the shaky cam.
I don't know.
Because I'm trying to think, like...
Because I've said this a couple of times, and I thought... Because I could have swore the first time I watched it, I kind of hesitated because I felt like there was a lot of found footage. But I think you're right. I think it's far worse now.
I think it was this movie that kind of kicked off that non-stop found footage movies.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, like, the budget for this wasn't that huge. And part of that is because of the found footage aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean... It's just one of those necessary evils, I guess, at this point, because you can keep costs almost, like, really, really low cost, and then, especially if it's a, like, horror movie. Horror movies tend to do ridiculously huge numbers in comparison to their cost.
Oh, they do.
So
because you can make a horror movie for 10 mil, and then generally...
And even 10 mil, we're talking, like, that's still kind of a high number.
That's a high. That's
I'm saying
the top of the
Blumhouse stuff could be done for like 5 mil.
5.
And then make
easily
like 10 times that amount.
A split on the cost.
Could you imagine that? Like 5 million, and if the movie makes 50 million, which isn't a huge box office by any means, that's like a massive success. 10 times the budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course they're gonna churn out a million.
Why do you think there was like 100 Saw movies? Because they made them for like $2 million, and they were making $80 million every time they came out.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna keep making them.
Well, that's and then
who cares if they're
Final Destination. That's another one.
Final Destination.
Those typically didn't have huge budgets.
Nope.
You know, yeah, I'm sure the later ones they creep up.
Yeah, they up the ante a bit.
But I mean, unless you're having like diminishing returns, again, why wouldn't you? You know, yeah, sure, I rolled my eyes at every single Final Destination that was out, but you can't argue with them.
That's why I don't understand, like, why icons like Jason and Freddy and all that haven't returned yet, because you can make those movies for so cheap.
I think part of it, okay, so I'll actually say...
Especially after the success of the last Halloween. That blew up the box office.
I'm going to say, though, with Halloween, if this one didn't do as well, I think they would have taken a break from Halloween for so long, because I feel like Halloween... And Friday the 13th is a little bit tainted because of Rob Zombie. Because of what he was doing with those movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a Halloween fan, I don't care for those movies.
And that's why...
But they have a big following.
But do they have the same following as the originals?
I mean, there's probably crossover there.
There has to be.
But it's got to be...
But I almost feel like those are two different movies, though.
Oh, they are.
You know what I mean?
They're 100% different.
Like, even I actually kind of thought that the Friday the 13th by Rob Zombie would have been a better fit than to go the Halloween route. You know?
Yeah.
But even then, I was still just kind of like, I don't know. I think maybe it's because they've been around for so long that they're not as scary or they're not as iconic. Like, I mean, if you think about it, it's different for us because, like, growing up, it was Friday the 13th. It was Nightmare on Elm Street. It was Halloween. It was Child's Play. You know what I mean?
It was Scream.
That's later, but like, I mean, when we were kids, those were the four.
Those are the four.
The four big ones.
Chucky, yeah.
You know?
I mean, there was Leatherface, but I never watched the Texas Chainsaw movies.
Yeah, I couldn't
get into them.
I never watched them either. I never even tried to.
Yeah.
Because I also was never really a huge Friday the 13th fan either. You know what I mean?
And then there was a whole list of like smaller icon characters too.
Like Leprechaun?
Leprechaun, Pinface, Candyman.
Well, Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
Candyman. Oh, man.
The Tall Man from the Phantasm movies. They made a ton of those.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
there was
Scarecrow.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Or no, not Scarecrow. Pumpkinhead.
Oh, Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I think again, like we're talking like low budget movies that could just kill it in the box office. But like Pumpkinhead was fucked. I watched that one and I was like, I probably shouldn't have.
I didn't like.
It was a good movie. It wasn't really a good movie.
I mean, visually he looked awesome.
Yeah, he looked absolutely incredible.
Which isn't surprising. It was Stan Winston that did it.
Exactly.
Of course, it's going to look
awesome.
And
you had Lance Henriksen in there, so you're like, okay, well, this can't be that bad. It is.
Lance
It's terrible.
Henriksen stars in every movie in the time frame. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Terminator, Alien, like what I read, he was the only guy that fight a Terminator, an Alien, and one other one, a Predator. Yeah, because he was in Alien vs. Predator.
That's right.
He's the only guy to fight all three.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean. Actually, yeah, we could do this all day because there's the Aliens movies.
Oh yeah.
The Predator movies, which was like one of the first like horror action flicks that I think I've ever seen. You know.
I actually watched Predator 2 before Predator 1.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Because my dad had both the Predators on VHS, but he wouldn't let me watch those at all. I wasn't allowed to go near those, and then I ended up catching some of Predator 2 when he was watching it one day. And it scared the fuck out of me because it was the part where all the guys are skinned in the subway or whatever it was. And I was just like, no.
Yeah.
I see why I wasn't allowed to watch this.
Yeah, I watched Predator first, so I didn't watch the second. But although with Aliens I watched first. I didn't watch Alien.
I watched Aliens first too.
Yeah, I watched the sequel first, and then
because when Aliens came out, I was alive. You know, like Alien came out way before we were born.
Oh yeah, exactly. But
So,
I think it's because Aliens is also more commercial because it is an action horror flick.
But I also didn't watch Aliens till later too. Like, I watched Aliens because I loved Terminator 2 so much, and I found out James Cameron did Aliens. That's how that led me to watch Aliens.
I'm trying to remember how I watched or why I watched Aliens. I can't even remember exactly why. I think it was because of the design of the alien itself.
Yeah.
The xenomorph.
Yeah.
I think that, because it's just so iconic. Actually, I would say Aliens is probably the first horror action flick, because that came out before Predator? I want to say it did.
It did. It was 86. Predator was 87.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, so...
Yeah, we're way off Cloverfield
we can just definitely do this.
I don't know how we got there.
The Cloverfield stuff itself was awesome. The stuff with the military made a lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh man, I was laughing so hard when the four of them are walking down the street and the Clover comes out in front of them. And TJ was like, "Oh shit!" And they turn around and all the freaking missiles are going off. And he gets to the one side, and everyone goes to the other. And I was just like, "This poor fucker." The tank's going by him. There's all these guys shooting.
Exactly.
Like, I'd be shitting myself in that moment.
Oh yeah, like that was really like I said, overall, it's still a really good movie. Okay, I just don't like it nearly as much as I did for that one big reason. That
if you don't like that, that's a pretty huge reason.
That's a hard.
The whole
hurdle
movie
to
is
get
based
over.
around that.
Because like I said, and it's funny because every single time they're like, "Dude, get rid of the camera," I was like, "Yeah, get rid of the fucking camera." Like I know it makes no sense because then you wouldn't have a story.
The only time where they're like, "Get rid of the camera," and he didn't get rid of the camera, I was like, "Yeah, come on, now you should get rid of the camera." Is when they were crossing the fucking building.
Yes. And
he's like, "Put the camera down." And it's like, you fucking slip once, you're gone, man.
You need two hands, buddy.
Yeah.
You need two fucking hands.
Yeah.
Nah, I could do with one.
Yeah.
I mean, did, but I was still...
Yeah. Like, even if you were to have, like, I think old cameras had, like, a wrap that went around your neck, too, right? So, like, when you're not holding it, it's, like, flopping. Something like that, even.
If
when
that's
you
the
see,
case,
like, his two hands and then the camera's kind of waving.
Things like that, I don't know. But you're right. Like, if that's the one hurdle, like, that's a hard hurdle to get over.
Yeah.
And it is kind of disappointing, because, like I said, like, the Cloverfield stuff is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Clover, like, I still can't get over the monster design. Monster design is incredible.
Yeah.
And then just that concept, too, because you're just like, it's huge already, and this is a baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's even huger, you know? Yeah. You know what? Like...
Well, I'll do a quick run through, like, cast and whatnot.
Yeah.
So this is the first film directed by Matt Reeves.
Yeah, I talked about that today.
Who went on to do Let Me In,
Oh.
the second and the third Planet of the Apes remake films, and now the Batman. And honestly, while I was watching this and looking at this cast of characters, and then thinking of Let Me In and the two Planet of the Apes movies.
Actually, hold on. I never watched Let Me In. Let Me In is the American version.
Yes.
I watched the original.
The original's amazing.
Oh, original is amazing. That's why I didn't want to watch
the remake is just
even
as good.
though it's isn't Chloe Moretz?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love her. I think she's amazing.
It's just as good as the original.
All right. I will definitely check it out. But I do love his directing.
Yeah.
Because that Planet of the Apes trilogy is awesome. But those second and third movies are amazing.
Like all this chat about how they're going to cast the Batman, and I just keep thinking like, if Matt Reeves wanted to cast the Batman, he really just has to look at the past 4 movies he did.
No,
he could probably cast a lot of them.
Just get Armie Hammer. I'm totally kidding. I don't want Armie Hammer. I hate him. I hate him.
No. Sounds like that's not happening anyway. So
I caught that.
I actually caught. I should have wrote it down. But did you see his short list? It was revealed yesterday.
No.
The official short list of who he's looking at.
No, I missed that.
They're guys you've seen before, but they're not. People don't know the names.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best way to do it.
That's the best way to do it.
Especially because
there was one guy in there that I really like. Jack Rayner, I think. Do you remember Snakes on the Plane?
I actually never watched that movie all the way through.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What else was he in? That doesn't matter. But anyways, I enjoy this guy's acting, and I was like, it's an interesting choice for Batman.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, like, they're still doing a year 1 thing from the sounds of it.
It sounds like it's a young Batman. I don't think it's going to be year 1, though. I think it's a young Batman, but not quite year 1. Because it sounds like they're going to do, it's a rogue movie. Like, there's a rogue gallery in the movie. We're going to see at least 4 villains, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So maybe it's like a year 2 movie then?
Maybe. Or 3. It's possible. If I'm looking at the cast of women in this movie, I'm like, these are all amazingly talented, beautiful women that could play Catwoman, Poison Ivy easily.
Okay.
Lizzie Kaplan?
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely see her as Poison Ivy.
What about Odette? Beth in the movie. I can see her as Catwoman.
Who's Beth again?
The girlfriend.
Oh, that's the one like right at the beginning?
Yeah, the one that's stuck in the building.
Yeah,
the Coney Island.
Yeah. No, I don't see it.
How about Poison Ivy? I can see her as Poison Ivy. Actually, you know what? Jessica Lucas, the black girl, I'd be fine with them changing the race of one of those characters because she was such a good actress.
Yeah, those two I could see definitely, for sure. Kaplan, I could see as a great Poison Ivy, for sure.
Kaplan, yeah.
Catwoman.
I can see Jessica Lucas as Catwoman.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. You know, she could look like Angelina Jolie's character in Wanted, who looked like Halle Berry, but they cast Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think if he wants to cast that movie, and Planet of the Apes 2 and 3 have such a good cast.
Oh, man.
You could easily get.
They're all great movies. They're all great movies, but that second was.
You know what?
Crazy good.
Get me Andy Serkis as the Penguin.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely as the Penguin. Yeah. Especially after his claws. Claw? Yeah, it was Claw. That's right.
Yeah.
He's just grimy in that movie.
I know.
Like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in the comic books, he's not really depicted as like that kind of a just grimy, shitty person. But he is unapologetically a slime ball easily. He revels in it, and I loved it. I thought that was great. It's like, I think moving forward, if they reintroduce that character, it'll be more like that instead of his.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they
red and purple outfit.
They've already done with Killmonger and Shuri in the comics. Like, they're 100% the movie version. So.
Well, Killmonger was killed.
Yeah.
So, or no, he wasn't killed in the comic books, but yeah. But I mean, it's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
It's Star-Lord, same thing. Like they changed them to reflect, but these are in some cases better than they were in the comic books. You know? Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, getting back to the movie, amazing creature design. I love the whole story behind it, the look of it. The sound. I love the sound, the way it sounds.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of sound, I know you're going to say something there, but let me just like quickly the movie has no music.
I know,
which I fucking love.
That actually,
I love it. Really brings you into the movie.
100%. It plus it sells that you're with these people.
Yeah.
Because essentially the idea behind this found footage stuff is that you're the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you're the main character, and maybe that's why another reason why I was so griping about it, because I'd be like,
I don't want to be
that fucking camera.
I don't want to be T.J. Miller.
That's not even that. It's just like I would throw away that camera. That'd be like my first move or something. But yeah, like we talked about how the movie was, or music was kind of off-putting in some scenes in the host. The fact that there was no music was a great idea. It was genius to do that. Absolutely genius, because that now it's the scenarios that they're in that sells the suspense and the thrilling aspects, or in some cases the horrifying aspects.
The tunnel scene with the night vision and everything, and just the light flashing around with no music and just the sound of them. That it gave me chills. I was like, you did not need music.
It reminded me of times where like you're at a bush party or something, and you go off to take a pee. And then you realize, oh yeah, I'm completely by myself.
In the dark.
In the dark. In the bush.
Yeah.
And this is before, like, you had fucking supercomputers that had giant cameras or flashers, so you could actually have a flashlight or anything. So if you didn't bring a flashlight with you, you were dumb and just brought a beer. You're like, oh yeah, now I gotta get back in this quiet, dark area. Yeah. You know? So that scene alone, I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. Like, that was one of those, like, ooh, I would not want to be there at all. I would not want to be there
Very
at all.
creepy.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then there's no music until the end credits. And that score in the end credits, which is, and I wrote it down because I love it
what is it?
So much.
Ballad for the Cloverfield Baby?
Yeah, it's called Roar, the Cloverfield Overture.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was being a dick.
Yeah, the score is by Michael Giacchino, I guess his name is. But seriously, is one of the best monster themes I've heard in my life. Yeah. Probably only second to the original Godzilla theme from 1954. Wow. Which is just iconic. You can't beat that iconic. And I love a lot of monster movies. So for me to say that this is probably the second best, like, it's a theme. Yeah. That's what I want in a monster movie. Yeah. I don't want just a background, like a score playing. I want a theme to these monsters.
I agree. I like that, especially because then when you hear that theme later in, like, in other movies, you go, ah.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
And I really enjoy that. I like the whole cast. I thought the whole cast was great. I was shocked by killing off the brother Jason so quickly in the movie. That bridge scene, when I first watched it, I was like, oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. So exactly. None of these guys are safe if they're killing them that quick.
And the other part, and also when they kill off HUD, T.J. Miller's character. Yeah. They killed him off and I didn't see that coming.
Right at the end, he gets eaten.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming. But yeah, like I like it when you can't predict who lives and who dies. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like even when Lizzie Kaplan died.
That was shocking. That was like, she lived. Yeah. It was
shocking for how it happened, and then because it was her, because like she's one of those ones where, like, I almost feel like I've grown up with her. You know what I mean? Because I've seen her in a million things. Yeah. And I've always liked her. You know. So then, but yeah, like all bets are off type of thing, which I really like. And it also is just one of those things where I think more movies should play that card. Just because you've got actors that are higher up. You know, if you kill them off right in the beginning or somewhat time soon, then you're kind of like, holy shit, like...
you want to really throw the audience off.
Oh, like with Deep Blue Sea, when Sam Jackson gets it.
Yeah!
That...
But you kind of see it coming when he's giving the big speech in front of the pool.
But you don't... But up until that point, you never thought he was going to be one of the early ones to die. You know, yeah, you're right. Like, in retrospect, as soon as it happens, I'm like, I don't know how I didn't see that coming.
That movie had a lot of shocking moments. Like the fact that Saffron Burrows, the woman, dies, and LL Cool J lives. That was my thought, too. It was like, they let a black guy live. Yeah. These movies always kill them first.
They called attention to it. Yeah. He's like, well, I'm dead.
Yeah. I'm the black guy. I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, and then they let him live, and you're like, well, I guess they kind of had to if they called attention
if the shark grabs it, too, you're like, oh. But then he comes out of the water, he's using his cross to stab it in the eye. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. Go. And well, we also got one of the greatest soundtracks of all times.
Yes.
Yeah, deepest, bluest, my head is like a shark's fin. It is head, though, right? We talked about this
No,
last...
it's fin.
Hand is
You
like...
thought it was head.
No, I'm saying... I always said it was
Deepest,
deepest, bluest. My hand is like a shark's fin.
Oh, it's my head's like a shark's fin.
It is my head is like
my
a shark's fin.
head is like a shark's fin.
Yeah.
What that does for you...
Either one is dumb.
I have no idea. Either one. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But we were stupid kids and we thought it was awesome.
Still a great movie, though.
Still a great movie.
Fuck.
Still
I want to watch that movie again. Yeah. That's one of those ones where, like, it still holds up. I really enjoy how well it holds up.
Oh, yeah. It really does. I enjoyed the cutting in and out of the tape to show the a couple weeks ago with Rob and Beth. I thought that gave their backstory a nice...
I liked that. I did like that. I also liked how, because at that point I spent the entire time looking for the shot of it falling.
Yeah, the Easter egg?
Yeah.
I know, I heard about that and I was like, what? And then I watched it, and then I finally saw it. And I'm going to give a Cloverfield Paradox spoiler right now. So if you haven't seen it, cut ahead by about a minute or so. Because it's a recent film and you might not have seen that one.
Or you might have heard the reviews were terrible and you were like, I'm good.
Yeah, I listen to other people. I don't make my own decisions.
Oh, oof.
Spicy meatballs.
Yeah, there you go.
The toxicity of online and the geekdom of these days.
I actually thought you were going to say the toxicity of our city. System of a Down. Oh, I fucked that one up. System of a Down.
Oh, you were totally me on that one.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So the toxicity of the online community.
Cloverfield Paradox. The movie ended with the pod falling, and then the Cloverfield monster jumping out. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So now I was reading today because I was watching this clip again today, and I was reading all the comments, and one guy's like, I bet you that's the pod from Paradox, because if you watch one of those clips on YouTube and you listen, you can hear the exact roar from the end of Paradox, just really quiet in the background during that Coney Island scene.
Huh.
Yeah.
So then, but the Cloverfield monster in Paradox is so much huger.
Yeah. It looks huger.
It stuck its head out of the fucking clouds.
It did.
In the upper atmosphere clouds.
That's right. So maybe it was the monster falling.
But then again, we're also talking about, like, Cloverfield Paradox deals with alternate dimensions. Mm-hmm. So, like, the argument is that...
Yeah, that monster at the end of Paradox, I assume, was the mother the baby was looking for the whole time.
That's right.
Because it's giant.
Right.
It's like out of the clouds.
So, like, in the one dimension that they're talking about where the mom has destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Looking for the baby. Could be...
I don't know, but I thought it was an interesting theory.
That is an interesting theory.
Okay, Paradox talk done. You're safe.
Okay, alright.
Oh, did you have more Paradox? Paradox talk continuing. Go away.
No, I'm good. I was just gonna say, like, I did enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a good movie.
I enjoy Paradox a lot.
Yeah, it is the weakest of the three, though, in my opinion.
It is, yeah.
Because I
don't find it much weaker though. Like I enjoy it actually more than 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought was an amazing film, but it didn't have that replay value to me. Like I don't feel like I could watch that over and over again. Whereas Paradox and the original, I feel like I could watch a lot more.
Yeah, they're all one and done for me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch Paradox again because it wasn't good enough for me to be like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Although I haven't watched Overlord yet.
That doesn't take place in Cloverfield.
I don't care. I'm just stating.
It looks awesome.
It looked
awesome. Reviews are insane.
Yeah.
I'm pumped to watch that. Zombies in World War II.
Yeah, I know. I was like, man, this is awesome.
Sign me up.
And it looks like it's got that like grimy grindhouse feel to it.
It looks dirty.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be just a gory mess.
Yeah. It looks good. It looks really good. Yeah. So like I said, like for me, ultimately, it's still a really good monster movie. Mm-hmm. And the positives don't quite outweigh the one big negative for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a pretty big negative. You don't like that, you're...
Yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of like... it's like if you're a big Resident Evil fan, then you play Resident Evil 7, and it's all first person. Mm. If you don't like first person, you're not going to like that game. Yeah. It's simple as that. So, it's not that I don't like first person, it's just... It just took me...
Well, it's funny because Konami did the same thing with Silent Hill. They had that one entry, I think it was
PT.
the 4th.
Oh yeah, The Room. The Room.
That went first person, and that really, I liked it, but it didn't feel like Silent Hill to me. It felt like maybe a spin-off game of the regular games.
Well, they had aspects that when you were in the room, it was first person, but then when you got out of the room, then it was third person.
Went third, right? It felt different to me.
Yeah, but then again, even for me, like the Silent Hill games, those were because like we in the previous Camcast, you were talking about how you couldn't really get into Splinter Cell because they were really hard games, and yes, they were really hard games. And the reason I think I like Chaos Theory the most is because while it is a hard game, you can still like the first one was if you got seen, you started over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second one, they had it where it was a little bit more freeing in the gameplay, and I don't think they had as many like start overs again. Whereas in the third one, it was more open ended. It was kind of like Metal Gear Solid, where like if you got seen, if you hit or you killed the guy, then it was fine.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
It wasn't just like you've been seen, mission restart.
Exactly.
Because that pissed me off when it was playing original.
Oh, it pissed me off when I was playing it too.
Like I was loving it, and then it was just like boom, you seen.
And also the other thing I didn't like about the first one was it's incredibly linear.
Very.
So if you play any of the Metal Gear Solids, where you have multiple ways to do, especially like Snake Eater and games after that, Snake Eater and 4, where it's like if you want to run and gun. If you want to snipe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they do that aspect as well and make it a little bit more open ended.
Nice. In
terms of, or not as linear.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, that's a great game. Great game. But, having said that, so, the hell was it? Tough games that we were just talking about. We were just talking about the game that was hard.
You're talking about Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. Games that were hard that I couldn't get into. I just lost it. I literally just lost it. That is professional. Yeah.
Wow. So you're going somewhere else with that, but it's gone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the points you did make were really, really well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ultimately, the point was, whatever the game that I was talking about that you played that you really liked,
yes,
but I couldn't get into because it was hard or unforgiving or something like that. That was ultimately the point. So I was kind of saying, I agree with you in that aspect.
Okay.
So I could see where...
Because we were coming off... You started talking about Resident Evil because you were talking about...
First person.
The
Switch.
Cloverfield, the Switch, yes.
Yep.
And then it went from there, yep.
But there was a game in between, and I can't remember what that was.
Silent
Silent
Hill.
Hill, yes. Okay, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Silent Hill was too hard for me. So I couldn't get into the game.
Silent Hill 1 was very fucking hard.
Yeah.
And it was just creepy.
It's
the fog, and then we're talking like PS1 super pixelated.
You play Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And I'll be flat out. I've never beaten Resident Evil 1 because when you leave the mansion and then you get back in and all the rooms that had zombies are now replaced with hunters, I was like, fuck that shit. Because of course my gameplay style wasn't run from everything. It was like kill everything, right? Mm-hmm. Resident Evil 2 I loved. It was one of my favorite Resident Evils of all time. But Silent Hill was super creepy. Like, playing Resident Evil is scary and it's creepy. Nothing touches Silent Hill. The fog, the static, when things are coming near you.
Creepy music.
The fact that you're actually just playing a regular dude, so you don't really have skills.
Yep. And
they emphasize that in the game. I was like, man. And the puzzles were insane. I was like, I can't do this. And I didn't care enough to power through it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so that's an example of a game that was too hard for me to play.
I couldn't beat them either. The first and the second I played, I think I skipped 3 altogether and went right to the room. I don't even think I played the third.
I remember playing the demo for the room, and I was just like, nope.
The room I actually really liked.
Really?
But again, it was...
But like you said, it didn't feel like a...
I couldn't stay with horror games. I can watch a horror movie and be like, because if I'm a real big pussy, I can kind of cover my eyes a little until that scene's kind of coming to an end.
Yeah, or you can pause it and leave it till you collect yourself.
You don't have that with a game, though. You have to be watching.
Yeah, well, exactly, because what's the one that just came out recently? It's got a sequel to it.
It's a horror game?
Yeah. It's like a Resident Evil.
Oh, Evil Within.
Yeah. Okay, so that one, it came up on a free download, and I actually gave that a go. And you're right, like you're tense the entire time because you're like, I don't know. First of all, I didn't know anything about the game other than you had cool ways to kill bad guys, but they really emphasized the survival aspect. So they're like, yeah, maybe don't use all the bullets or whatever. And I think I played like 2 hours, and then I was just like, I'm good. I don't need to play this anymore because it's like constantly being in that almost red alert state. That when you put the game down, when you finally get to put the game down, you're just kind of like, you need a while to be like, whew.
Yeah, you need that calm down period.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't really get that with a lot of those games. Dying Light is amazing. It's like Mirror's Edge with zombies. Amazing. Except you gotta really be good on that controller with the parkour shit. And I was nailing that stuff. But nighttime, when it's dark out, and you're getting attacked by all angles by these crazy fucking zombies that only come out at night, and it's scaring the shit out of you, you try to keep that composure to do some parkour when you're getting the shit scared out of you. Like I was fucking getting ripped apart.
It's like this is you in real life.
Yeah.
Like, during the day, I could do all of this stuff, and then at night you're like, oh no, this is real. Just don't kill me, please don't kill me.
Yeah. So I was just like, I don't think I could do this for 40 hours.
Yeah, I don't know.
Put her down.
I mean, like, okay, so, well, even like Outlast.
Oh, Outlast is horrifying.
Outlast is
horrifying.
Fucking horrifying. It's actually horrifying enough that I've watched like gameplay stuff, and even watching gameplay stuff, I'm like, I can't. I'm good.
Yeah, I did a demo on that. Played maybe 35 minutes, 40 minutes. My palms were sweating.
Yeah.
Like they were sweating. I was just like,
I couldn't imagine that. Like,
can't do it. Can't do it.
I give like gamers that play games like that. I'll give you guys credit because like.
Hell yeah.
I could not do it.
Huge credit.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, like, even, like...
Though that would be a funny video series. Just playing horror games and getting the shit scared out of you.
Oh, my God, yeah. But I've seen enough of those clips that it's too late to do it now.
We could get some of those adult diaper people to sponsor us.
But that's what I mean, like, I've seen enough of those style of clips that it would be pointless for us to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because people would be like, we've seen it before.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, exactly.
Though, funny enough, I've played a couple horror games in VR. Fine.
Wow.
And you think that would scare me more.
Yeah.
But I was playing Until Dawn with my dad and my sister. Yeah. Megan was screaming and everything. Just, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm pretty good at keeping in like when I'm in VR, keeping like this is fake. Like even the shark cage stuff. Sharks scare the fuck out of me.
I was gonna say
thank you, Steven Spielberg, for that.
I was gonna say it's probably because in your head you're like, this is fake. This is fake. This is fake. But it seems weird that when you're fully immersed that way, it's harder or it's easier for you to make that connection when you're literally like TV screen in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think part of it too for me is I'm just not really a huge fan of the genre. So the games, the gameplay could be amazing, like Resident Evil 2. Like I said, like I really love Resident Evil 2, but Resident Evil 2 isn't necessarily a scary game per se.
No, it has its moments. It's suspenseful.
It's suspenseful, yeah. But then once you get to a certain point in the game, I feel like once you leave the police station, you're good enough that you're like. Although the plant guys are fucking scary. Those guys, because they just sound all gross and creepy. Like even just watching the replay or the new version with the Rad Brata, even when we get to that part, I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot about those guys. And even the stuff with Mr. X, you're just like, oh yeah, fuck, he's worse in this game, you know?
Yep.
But give me a stealth game and I'll play that all fucking night.
Yeah, I love some stealth.
Oh man,
I don't love the Splinter Cell stealth where it's like you're spotted and you're done. I like stealth where if you're spotted, you have an option to get out of it and head back into it.
Yeah, well, and that's why I was saying like with the Hitman, like that's how it's pretty open ended. How you could kill everybody if you wanted to. Yeah. You know, you can set alerts off like crazy if you really wanted to. You know.
And with Metal Gear, like I would always stealth it, but if I was caught, never really bothered me. I just run, hide in a locker. Guy comes by, I'll sneak out, snap his
Yeah,
neck.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm good with it, and that's why I've always loved Metal Gear.
Same
the
here.
most.
It's funny, like, because even like I remember, because I was a siphon filter guy.
Yeah.
I always, like in retrospect,
Yeah,
I
you were.
always look
You
back
were.
and I go, "That's so strange that that's the one where I was kind of like, oh, you know, because like in retrospect, like the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, but they weren't that great games. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There were some like, well, the first two were actually really good games, but some of the shit I remember just being like, I can't believe they had one scene where there's a plane flying overhead, so you have to complete the level, right? And then you have to get to this point, and you have to snipe the briefcase out of this guy's hand.
I remember that.
And I one-shotted it. I got so fucking lucky. Okay, like I'm not even kidding. Cause like Ryan, remember Ryan?
Yeah.
Not Bortolucci, but the other
Ryan.
Yeah.
The one we beat up on the mattress or the cushions in the living room
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
well,
We
that
had
guy.
one, yeah.
Because we're playing the same game on different save files, he could not beat that part. He was so mad at that part, and when I one-shotted it, he was even madder. He's like, "How the fuck did that?" I just kind of lined it up and shot like
It's complete fluke.
Like I got lucky. This was
Yeah.
not even in my height where like now when I play games, stealth games, I'm looking for sniper options.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because of Metal Gear. I'm like, man, if I could just as soon as I got a sniper, I'm like, yep, we're good. We're great because that guy's dead, that guy's dead, that guy's dead. Now let's stroll through the fucking level because I don't have to worry about shit because I killed everybody.
Look for some shit without
Hell,
worrying about getting
in
caught.
Snake Eater, when you're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna raise an alert just to kill more guys. Like the mountain sequence, you get one perch and you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna wound him so he calls for backup. I'll lay everybody out, lay them all out.
Take them all out.
You know, so I got incredibly lucky. But yeah, they're not really that good at games, and if they had staying power, I think that's also why I kind of stayed away from Splinter Cell at first, was because I was like, oh, is that just a newer version of Siphon Filter? No, it's
no.
But it is a very unforgiving stealth game.
I remember that when the first Splinter Cell was coming out, it was all about the graphics.
Yeah.
No one was talking about gameplay or anything.
Yeah.
It was all like, look at the lighting we're doing on this. And yes, I bought an Xbox. Not an Xbox One, but the first Xbox.
Yep.
Just to play that game.
Yeah, which is kind of funny to think about it.
Actually, that's a lie. That was the second game I bought. First game I bought was Steel Battalion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I bought for Steel Battalion. The idea of being in a mech with all the controls, I was like,
yeah, that is a cool idea.
Cost me $200 and I returned it the next day.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
They don't say that like I need some more room for this.
Yeah, okay.
You got pedals and a giant board that control your mech, right?
Right. Yeah.
So now the board is, because I'm pedaling,
well,
it was not a fun experience.
That's one of those things too, like whenever I watch mech movies and they make it so that, like Pacific Rim for instance, when they physically are moving everything, I'm always just like, that's crazy. Like, that's nuts. But then, like, same with, like, Gundam and stuff like that, too, where, you know, they have to be one with the machine so that it can work perfectly. You're like, that actually makes a lot of sense, but in gameplay, I would really hate that. Like, if I had to be like...
Yeah. Here we go.
You're like, are you fucking for real? I want to be fat and lazy. I don't want to get a workout playing a video game.
I think it took me 10 minutes just to walk out of the building at the beginning of that game. And I was like... and this is back in the day where EB was like cool with you, like, yeah, just return something within the first couple days, even if it's open.
I can just imagine, especially because you were a huge slut for Zone of the Enders, and you were probably thinking of it like, oh yeah,
Zone of the Enders, but controlling it like a mech.
Man.
Yeah,
and then you do it, and you're just like, can I play Zone of the Enders again?
No.
Although Zone of the Enders was great.
Yeah, and hilarious because I only bought Zone of the Enders to play the Metal Gear 2 demo.
Yeah.
And then I ended up loving Zone of the Enders.
That game was great. Zone of the Enders 2 I remember really liking as well.
Which they just remade for PlayStation VR.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I haven't tried it yet. But I'm going to try it.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, so I don't have
I got
anything
nothing
else to say about Cloverfield. I don't think I have anything else to say about video games.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm about done here.
Are you about done right here?
I think I am about.
You know what?
Done.
I think I'm done too because this, and this.
Yeah, you.
I got a full bladder.
You went to town, son.
I went to town. I'm talking a lot right now.
Yeah, well.
I even cut you off a couple times.
Okay.
I was just a pile of speech today.
It's all good. Well, then take us out.
Take us out.
Take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Ken Levitsky. That is Chris Mercier. This is the Geek Pants Camcast. If you enjoyed it, please follow us and like and subscribe. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud. We're on SoundCloud, Chris.
I know that.
If you don't want to see us, you can at least put us in your ear holes.
Less data. Less data if you go through the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or iTunes. We're there too.
That's right.
I don't think anyone really knows that because I don't think we have anyone listening to us on iTunes. But one day we will.
That's right.
One day we will. Chris,
so
this has been a good
thank
chat.
you very much for thank you for stopping by.
Oh.
Damn it! You didn't do it again. Are you kidding? Well, you stay classy, San Diego. That's the whole fucking thing.
These pancakes are delicious.
Look like a fool.
That's not even making me look like a fool.
Look like a fool.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Especially because you're the one that's got to pee. So
I actually don't have to pee. It was a good way to wrap things up.
Lying
For
about
everyone to go,
issues.
that poor bastard. He's got to pee. We should stop watching this and let him go.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.